Okay. Hi, welcome to All Things Possible. We are coming to you from our beautiful snow-covered yard today and out in the snow in our coats and trying to keep warm. We're thrilled to have you here with us. We want to talk to you about how to make your resolutions happen this year.
But before we do that, we need to tell you something important. And that's about our website.
Yes, if you're not part of our community at All Things Possible, we would love to have you join our community, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that every week when we put out a new episode, you get a little alert and you can see what content we're giving you and putting out there.
We're always working to bring you new and fresh content and things that are important that will help you move forward in your life, both with your personal development and with your personal healing as well. So.
Right, your health and your wellness. And we would love to have you join us at allthingspossible.biz. That's B-I-Z. Again, allthingspossible.biz with Kris and Bill, and we'd love to have you there to really have you create and heal from the inside out and have those tidbits of information that we share with you on a regular basis.
So today, we do want to talk about resolutions. Our resolutions, they all have, most of them have a lot of things in common. What they have in common is they're usually the same ones we did last year.
Right. Lots of times we have the same things, you know, that lose weight, feel great, and make more money.
I'm going to get rich. I'm going to be
better
smart.
job, newer car, whatever. So much of the time they're the same. Well, we want to talk to you about the statistics of that. 42%, only 42% actually write down their goals, write their resolutions, write down anything. I don't even think 42% write resolutions.
They're 42%. If you take and write down your goal, you're 42% more likely to achieve it. If you just write it down. There's no way is there 42% that will write down your goal.
Right.
Actually, it is 3%.
3% that have written goals that actually check those daily, follow up on those, and no, 1% review it daily.
Yes.
3% have written goals. And actually some of the statistics from the Inc. 500 was that it was less than 3% have written goals.
So what do you do to achieve your goals? You run and run and run and do all this work and work and work. And yet if you look at the statistics, do you write them down? Do you review them daily? Look at how your chance of success goes up if you will do those. And it's simple steps. Now, I'm not saying that that is going to make you get your goal, but it may be the piece that's missing, the reason why you're not getting your goals the way you want to see. And so what we want to do is give you those things that you can enhance what you're already doing. Because I'm sure you're doing a lot of work. You know, you're dieting, you're exercising, whatever it is you're doing with your goals, you work and work and work on it. Do you have it written down? Do you review that goal daily?
Right. Those are steps that will actually help you to take action to be more successful. And that's what we're all about. We want you to be more successful and achieving the things that you want, the things that really live within you. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is affirmation versus declaration. Now, I've covered this before, so if you've been with us very long, I cover it all the time. I work with clients all the time, then we talk about affirmations are really good. Affirmations became very popular many years ago, and they really did make a difference because it created us a way to focus on the positive and to do that. But an affirmation is to affirm what you're wanting, to affirm those goals that you have. Yet, to actually have a declaration, to declare it. When we declare it, it becomes something that we own within ourselves and in our heart.
And we declare it as if it has already happened. Instead of affirming, I am going to or I want to, you declare it. The reason we're doing this is we're trying to trick the brain. Okay, we're trying to rewire it. Because we already tricked it. We already tricked us into us being unsuccessful, into having a low self-esteem. We've already tricked it with the way we've been programmed and the things we've said to ourselves throughout the years. So we're rewiring it. When your brain believes you're a loser, you're a failure, you can do everything you want to try and have success, and your subconscious mind will sabotage you because it wants to
Right.
make your internal truth come true. What we are doing, what you are doing with declarations, is changing your internal truth so that now your internal truth, get this, your truth, your internal truth, not what you say, but what you feel, is your goal. What that wiring that is in your brain, your subconscious mind is a goal-seeking computer. Boy, I'm getting up on my soapbox here.
He is passionate about this.
It becomes your goal, whether you want it to or not. Calm it down. But that is your goal. So make sure that your subconscious mind has the same goals that you consciously have. That's where we have the disconnect. And that's what these declarations will do, is help you get in sync between your subconscious mind and what you actually say you want to
Right,
do.
so you go from your head to your heart.
Your subconscious is powerful, and it will create miracles and cause things to happen. The next thing is, what were you just saying? That's a good idea. Tell me about that.
Going from your head to your heart? Well, let me just give you a story about why, when I became a speaker. Like, I never really wanted to do this, and I had everything in my head of nobody will listen to me, and I'm no good at this. And it wasn't until it came to my heart of, like, I really want to make a difference. My why is I wanted to change lives. I wanted to help other people. I'd gone through a lot of things, and there was a lot of information that people were coming to me asking me for help already. And it became something that when it started to live in my heart, and I owned it and said, I'm a speaker. I'm going to go out and make a difference. I am going to change lives and do what lives for me in my heart. When I got out of my head, went to my heart, it became a reality. And the same thing can happen with your declarations of what you want to change. What are the things you want to work on? One of the things that I love to have people work on is relationships. Because when we improve our relationships, our entire world changes. When we improve our gratitude, when we improve our service, everything around us changes. And I wrote my whole book on the 7 traits and how that looks. But there was another thing, speaking of writing books. Why don't you tell them about that?
How do you get it from your head to your heart? Because it's so important. Your head is all these ideas. Your heart is where you're passionate, where it becomes who you are and what you do. And I had known I needed to write this book. I felt called to, so I guess that's a need. But I knew it was for me to write this book. And I was working on it for 3 years. Before that, I talked about it for a couple of years. I need to write a book. I need to write a book. But then I actually started writing and started collecting stories and started putting down a format. And I worked on that thing for, here's that number, 3
3 years.
years I worked on it. And it wasn't consistent. It wasn't daily. But we'd go on vacation. Right. I'd spend a day or two. I'd set it aside to write. Sometimes, a bug would catch me and I would decide to write, on a weekend or something like that. Or maybe on an evening. But it wasn't consistent. And I had an opportunity. I was invited to speak at a conference. And I said, you know what? This is exactly what I need to motivate me to finish my book. And the conference was coming up in 8 weeks.
2
My
months.
book was probably a third done. I thought it was half done. But when I finished the book, I found out I only had a third done. But I says, you know what? I sat down. I says, I think I can do this. Let me get back to you, the person who invited me to speak in this conference. And I sat down. I was like, if I spend the next 4 weeks writing the book, and I have it finished in 4 weeks, that'll give me 4 weeks to get through editing, formatting, and then the printing with the publisher. I was like, well, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to commit to it. So I committed to speak at this conference. I put myself on the line. What was I going to talk about if I didn't have a book released, okay?
Especially since it was all over the website that's what he was speaking on as his book.
And I worked like all the time. I'd get up in the middle of the night. But it went from my head as this is an idea, this is something I want to do, to a passion and a commitment. I made the commitment. This is in my heart. This is in my heart. And when it went to my heart, it wasn't hard to write. I was thinking about it all day long while I was at work, while I was doing other projects, while I was doing everything. I was thinking about my book. What comes next? What part do I need to do next? It became who I was, not something I was going to do. It went into my heart. And if you can get your passion, your goal into your heart, to where this is what I am, this is who I am, not something I want to be, but I am. And put yourself on the line, put a date to it, and you can make magic happen. It's talking about going to the heart. You know, get it to your heart. Head is ideas. Your heart is that passion. What do we do when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? Where do we put our hands? On the heart. Why do you think that is? That's your being. That's your soul. We don't do this. I pledge allegiance. You know, that's like alien invasion type stuff there. We put our hand on our heart. I mean, I get emotional when I see Old Glory up there, and I put my hand on my heart. I don't just stand there and go, I pledge allegiance. Well, I did that in preschool. But you put your hand on your heart, and man, it means something to me. I don't say those words lightly.
Right.
When I say pledge allegiance, I have my hand on the heart, and I'm looking at Old Glory. That means something to me. I do. I pledge myself to what I believe is this great nation, okay? So we have a suggestion for you today. When you have your goals, write them down. Review them daily. Put them on your makeup mirror.
Your makeup mirror. Put them where you see them daily, whether that's in your bathroom on the mirror, where you get ready every day. Wherever you're going to be. I have some in my office. I have some in my car.
Okay.
But you need to write down your declarations, and to take action on that, you need to say them daily. And we suggest at least 3 times daily. First thing in the morning, middle of the day, and last thing before you go to bed. But they need to start with positive, as if it's already happened. And start with things like I am, I believe, I create, I love, I affirm, I know.
So if you were working on relationships, say your relationship with your children, what would your affirmation sound like? I have great...
No, have would be an affirmation.
Okay.
Right? Have is an affirmation.
Okay, so how would you say
I love my children and the way we are creating the bond between us. I love how my children are growing and developing and learning.
I love the bond that there is between us.
Right. Okay. I believe my children are learning the right things, right? You need to have that. I create. It's got to start with I, and it has to be a word that is positive, as if it's already happened. We want to remove all of the negative. So when we say want, will, I'm going to, all of that is really how the affirmation started. And if you look up affirmations, you're affirming something that's going to happen, or you want it to happen. And they've even changed the affirmations now. They tell you to do it positively.
They're much more closely, I mean, it's hard to tell the difference. If you look up current information on affirmation, it's hard to tell the difference between that and a declaration.
Right, but remember that affirmation is affirming, declaration is declaring. When you declare something, when we had the Declaration of Independence, they didn't say an affirmation of independence, they said a declaration of independence. What we declare we want to have happen, that is going to be. So things to avoid are those negatives. We don't want to say, I'm going to quit this, I want to lose that. We can release.
I need to stop that.
Weight.
I don't want to be depressed anymore is not an affirmation. That's a declaration of I'm going. Your brain
I will
declares,
not be depressed.
Your brain declares it gets depression, and that's where that's your new declaration.
Right. It doesn't
according
see
to your
the negative and
subconscious
positive,
mind.
right?
It just declares, okay, yeah, hey, we're already there. We're already depressed. Good, goal achieved. We'll just make sure we stay here. Don't let them take us out of our depression. So you don't want to say I don't want to be depressed anymore. That's the brain screws that up for you, and it works against you. I am happy. I am content. I am... Give me some words. I just ran out of them. I'm happy. I'm content. What's the opposite of depressed, okay?
Right.
Woohoo! What?
I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm enough, right? How many people, when we go into a room and we do a conference and we ask how many people feel like they're not enough, you should see. I don't know that we ever have a hand that stays down. Yeah. So I am enough can be the right declaration for you, especially if depression lives for you.
Enough sounds kind of soft, but think about it. If you're enough, if you have enough money, if you have enough love, if your car is fast enough, hey, that's pretty awesome. Because what does it take to be fast enough? It's got to be faster than everything else on the road, right? That's enough. Enough is good.
Enough is wonderful.
Don't discount that little word, I am enough, because enough is awesome.
And it can be, I am wonderful. I am grateful. There are so many different ways, but it needs to live for you. It's got to be your words. It's got to be what lives for you in your heart. And then take action 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night, right?
And saying the words. And obviously, these are keys, things that you may be missing. It's going to take work. It's going to take effort on your part. Do something. If you're serious about your goal, take an action step that will move you closer to your goal every day, whether it's to make a phone call, to write something down, to actually exercise, to take a new step every day that will move you closer to your goal. You still have to put in the work. But
Right.
sometimes we've been putting in all the work, and these things are what's missing, and that's why we're focusing on those.
And we
But
need
don't
to
get
have
me
all
wrong,
the
work
senses.
hard.
We need to be able to feel it, see it, touch it, hear it, know it, own
Taste
it,
it.
right? Taste it.
Smell it.
So make sure that you're
Smells.
getting those different senses so that you really believe it. Well, we are freezing now because it's very cold out here.
And it's
We love
time
that
to
you are
go
with
to a
us.
family party.
Yeah, we love that you're with us, and we love being able to share with you. Again, if you haven't joined our community, join at allthingspossible.biz. Go to
See, it
Kris
says so right
Barney
here.
on
See this right here?
YouTube. Subscribe to our channel
Floating
together.
in the air. Right out
And
there.
be part of this. We love to have you with us on our community, and we love to see your success. So make your resolutions happen this year. We're excited for you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.